Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to In the Streets with Big Stone. Today is a very horrific day for me. The reason why it's very horrific, we're using this opportunity to plead to us as Jamaicans to start to take care of our children even more. If you look at what is happening here, recently 2 boys were found in the Trelawney area. Based on the reports on the radio and on the news, both these boys were buggered and both these boys were strangled to death. It's very, very disturbing for me. It's very, very horrific for these things to be happening in the year 2012 to our children. We need to take a stance. Recently, a friend of mine was on one of those national radios, and he is a lawyer, and he was saying that 4 cases from different mothers, who have their children and want some assistance from the lawyer, came to him, and in all 4 cases, there were young boys charged for raping young girls. Now, the disturbing thing about that, it is disturbing to find out that young boys are raping young girls, but it's even more disturbing to find out that all these young boys had sex with these girls in their anus. That is forceful, buggery. You understand what I'm saying? If you choose to do that on your own thing and you locked up yourself in a room somewhere, it's none of my business. But when you force that to our children, then we're concerned about that. No, we don't have to go through that. There's a better way, there's a better life for all of us as Jamaicans, all of us as black people scattered across the world. There is a better life. I'm here with a brother. His name is Brother Drummond. He's the auditor for the Ethiopian World Federation, Chapter 43, here in Kingston, Jamaica. Brother Drummond, welcome to In the Streets with Big Stone.
Good morning.
Brother Drummond, so what go on first before we get into the Ethiopian World Federation? What go on with our children, them, and the high crime rate and police brutality, and what go on in our country?
Okay, well, you see what's going on right now. As you look, you will see in any or every society, virtually, not only in Jamaica, and as far back as you can go back in time or the history of man, you will see traces of the existence of these things. However, based upon those observations that we see these traces, we try to find remedies, and we may write them down in books and document, and these remedies is supposed to guide the community. It's supposed to be a supplement, like a preventive measure. So as these remedies are learned, and we call them rules, we try to teach them to our children from the earliest of ages. However, you will find that a lot of family structures, many a time that the parent might not be there to teach it to the child at that critical moment that is needed. And I must say that even though we guide our children the right way, the human mind is very, very experimental. You can tell your children all the rules, but they're gonna say sometime, why did daddy or mommy say this, let me try this. So that's the experimental side. We can help that. But having the rule, the training is it cut down the odds of the child going wrong, and just look a social group or community being decayed. So training the parents, ethics, I say the one word to instill in the child from the youngest of age and constant monitoring.
I agree with you 100%. And not just coming from the home, we need this kind of a training. We need it from the outsiders as well. Because I remember growing up as a young man, right? I couldn't do anything wrong within the community where I was. I would get a spanking easily. And if I go home and tell mommy or daddy that, hey, Miss Brown or Miss Jane spanked me for doing this, I'm going to get another spanking. We lack that in our society now. We lack the home, the home type of the home. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
That family upbringing of mother and father being there, and sometimes grandmother and grandfather too, which is close by. Which, when the parents gone to work, the grandmother might be there to kind of nurture and upbring their child. We lack that. That has fallen to pieces here in Jamaica. What happened recently, based on the fact that two boys were buggered, because the examination report came out, they were buggered and they were strangled and dumped in a river, right? The community got upset. They say we can't take this no more. So you know what them do? Them just go hunt down a man where move kind of way and then chop him up. Yeah man, and burn down his house. No, we're not inciting violence, and we don't want Jamaicans to go doing that, because it's still against the law for you to take your own personal justice out on somebody based on the assuming that this person is guilty. They say every man is innocent until proven guilty by a court of law. Vigilante justice. What are your thoughts on that? No, you told me about the fact that, the home bringing and Ray. A man take the law into him own hand and go chop up a man or burn down a house. What is going on in Jamaica?
Well, I would answer that very simply. In the gospel, where I see a wisdom, and I even apply mathematics to it.
Mm-hmm.
It says, unless your work exceed that of those that you don't agree with, how much greater then are you than they? This was said, I believe, in reference to the Pharisees and the scribes. So if you say that someone has done atrocious act, how much greater then are you than them when you perform the same? So we have to do our addition there, our arithmetic there.
That is one of the reasons why I don't like the death penalty, is because, yeah, this person killed this person, but when you go and take this life that you have no authority to take, because this was given by the Almighty. So when you go and you take this life of this person, I don't care if he's guilty as charged, then you yourself is just as guilty of murder, just like that person committed that murder. There's hope, ladies and gentlemen. We just brought those few scenarios to come to the real deal. Remember, I told you up front, I'm speaking with Brother Drummond. He's the auditor for the local chapter 43 of the Ethiopian World Federation. Now, Brother Drummond is very instrumental in keeping all the records, the book, the accounts, all the whole running of the Ethiopian World Federation 43 chapter. He is responsible for it. All of Jamaica talk about reparation and repatriation. All of Rastafarian say, yes man, I want to go back to Africa higher. And my motherland that. And in this is Imperial Majesty, gave 500 acres of land to anyone who's black to come home. Only about 400 families occupy these lands. And as I was told by Brother Drummond, that the more people start coming in and exhaust the 500 there, a new 500 acre is ready to be occupied. Why are we not joining forces to go home? We say we want reparation, we say we want repatriation, but we not do the things them. We talk it enough, But we not do the things them for activate it. And His Imperial Majesty has given the blueprint. Everything signed and sealed up and everything ready for we go. And the man now make no move. What is our problem?
The basic and fundamental thing we have to consider in this equation is something that they call checks and balances in world power and world economy. You take, for example, just by one set of people leaving one geographical location to another, it changes or has the potential to change the balance of the economy from the area that they leave to the area that they go to. So in terms of people leaving Jamaica or in a part of the west or going to the east, you have the eastern and western economic bloc, and you have north and south. So the territories that we are leaving from, the governing or corporate structure put these things into consideration, and most likely if it would cause a decline in their economic growth, they wouldn't be too in favor
of that movement. So what you're saying, they set up blockers then, invisible blockers, so that
automatically
we know what we talk so we want to go. Yes, strategic. We talk so we want to go, but there's nothing in place for us to go.
Right.
So all we can line up one day at airport and say, watch out, Jamaican population are 3 million and 1 million and we say we want to go home. Seeing? So make 1 million and we pack up and go to the airport. What am I do? When them say 1 million people seriously ready to go home. Why we can't come together in numbers and do it?
First of all, it's a very great great risk. You know, as you say that, it gives me a flashback of Gandhi in India when the British were in rule, and there was a plan that one day that no one would work. So the scenario that you give right there, it brings that picture into play.
What happened?
What are the ramifications?
Yes. What happened when 1 million people said that work?
If 1 million people say they are not going to work today, even if it's because of the lack of transportation, it causes the city to lose millions or billions in a day. So you can just imagine how much in a week it would cripple the country right there. And in the case of Gandhi in India, because of this, the colonial forces, realizing this, ordered the troops to fire upon the people to go back to work, but they did not. And as a result, this is all that led to the independence of India. But we have to be practical. For you to get 1 million people to come together on one idea, it's not easy. People,
but it's not impossible, though.
No, it is
people not impossible.
It's what the 1 million people would prioritize for that particular day.
Hungry. We're hungry. We don't have no food for eat. We don't have no food for send my pit them go to school. We youth them a disappear, dime a dozen. We youth them a get buggered. A whole heap of things, brethren.
Okay.
A whole heap of things that need. And as I say this, I'm not saying this from the political standpoint. We're not business with no politics. Nobody can come draw a big stone in the politics thing. We are talking about the humanitarian side of me, where I say, yo, our people are suffer Rasta. We need some vice, we need some vice in this. We need some clarification in this. And we have the land them at Shashemane, right? We have whole land. You tell me this morning, say, when you plant a pumpkin, the pumpkin grow humongously big. You tell me this morning, say, when you plant all a can turn up like yarn. So if the place is fertile and His Imperial Majesty has set down all the requirements, everything, all the blueprints, all the blockage that you have had, right, is stopping you from getting these land. Him done the road, all them things that disintegrate. The plan is fresh. I was speaking to Brother Pennycook this morning. Who is Brother Pennycook? Tell the world who Brother Pennycook is.
Brother Pennycook is a former international president from the Ethiopian World Federation, and he assumed office in the revitalization period of the headquarters there. For a period up until in the 1990s, the headquarters was virtually dysfunctional.
Yeah.
So members realizing that, they got together, and as a result, Brother Pennycook was the first international president since the headquarters was revitalized in the 1990s.
Go ahead.
Since then, with his committee, they have implemented several agenda, but one of the most credible agenda that I have seen that he has advocated for was the model city project in Ethiopia. There's a document here I brought for you, and as you can see, this was published in the Addis Tribune. That's the Ethiopian news in Addis Ababa, the Ethiopian World Federation.
Hold on, the Addis Tribune, Friday, June 21st, 2002. So for those who can access it on the internet, it is the Addis Tribune, Friday, June 21st, 2002. And the title says, Ethiopian World Federation to build a model city in Shashemane.
Yes. So this is the basic interest of Brother Pennycook, you know, and
so he's seriously one of the brothers who is in the forefront. That is instrumental in bringing people who desire to relocate to Africa, back to Africa. Once you have that desire, this is the plan.
Yeah, he has been in the forefront. Currently, every year there is an election for a new or to reinstate the international president. So as you find that time goes on, that his agenda might be there for a while, so it's up to the others to add to that. But speaking in terms of forefront, you know, he has been there as late as in 2007.
As late as in 2007. Yeah. Now I wanna read something here from Set Me Up now. Just give me an idea. What is this? The Jamaica Technical Mission to Africa. Just set me up. I'm gonna read excerpts from it. What is this document?
Okay, the technical mission, because people from Jamaica, that people that was from the lower spectrum of the society, going through
poor people you talk about, poverty-stricken people,
harsh social problem. They were looking for somewhere to find it better. As a result, you know, they heard about Ethiopia from 1930s coming on up, and by the year 1960, when the first delegation went on a fact-finding mission now of this land they hear of milk and honey.
Yeah, in other words, in Jamaica, who depend the low thing where in what Brother Drummond is saying, them send some people up there to kind of suss out the place and check out the place and find out, is this thing really true? Them land really exist? How fertile is the land? Right? That's why them people are feeling power that if you go to look what
yes, they wanted to investigate and take advantage of an opportunity that was granted by Emperor Haile Selassie I, the land grant. So when the investigation took place, when the first mission was going, the Jamaican government was abreast of it and they supported in terms of sponsorship.
Airfares, etc.
Yes, those who wanted to go. So a dialogue was started, and as a result, the Jamaican government got involved with it in 1962 on an official government-to-government basis.
Okay.
So in that year, this report here was made, which is called the Jamaica Technical Mission to Africa.
All right. Beautiful. All right. I'm going to read just a little part of it, you know. It is addressed. It says, H.E., the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. It says, Dear Sir, settlement of Jamaicans in Ethiopia. The technical mission from Jamaica, which is now in Addis Ababa, has been sent for the purpose of establishing closer cultural ties with Ethiopia, to try to lay the foundation for the development of trade between the two countries, and to discuss the possibilities of settlement of persons from Jamaica in Ethiopia. Now, this was March 26, 1962. The mission is an official one and has full authority to deal with these matters on the behalf of the Jamaican government. While in the country, we have had discussions with many ministries on the subjects listed in our terms of reference. We have been treated with the greatest consideration and courtesy in every instance, and the proposals and ideas have met with spontaneous and favorable response. Now, this was March 26, 1962. No whole of people are gone yet, and I moved towards the thing. More read on. The mission humbly asks that we be given the opportunity of placing before His Imperial Majesty our ideas and proposal concerning the settlement of Jamaicans in Ethiopia, and of discussing them to this end. We have prepared the attached memorandum embodying these ideas and based on our discussion and observations here. Now, this is powerful. How much people? All right. How much people are aware of them documents, sir?
To my estimate, the greater percentage of the Jamaican population
Don't know about this?
To my estimate, about 98% of the population do not know that
madness, what? Madness. And that's why we have to give thanks to YouTube, because them can't stop the truth now from coming out. Because if 98% of Jamaica do not know that you can now go to the required organization, the Ethiopian World Federation, and them are angle thing, Brother Drummond and Brother Brissett and Brother Penny Cook and Brother Sister Jem Morrison.
And you have others in England.
The thing large and big up. A time for we get yourself together, brethren. There's a whole reason why them thing are not working, you know. And we're gonna leak out on them reasons there, because this is the source of this is the power of this interview. We are reason, me and Brother Drummond. And I said, boy, and I asked him the question, I said, Brother Drummond, why we have this divisive thing amongst our people? The division between black people and black people. The division between Rastafari and Rastafari. And he simply put it that we tend to give that person their own individual right. We want to place our rights, our idea of our rights onto somebody else, which is not fair. And then because you want to place your rights on that person, which means you want to take that person's rights, you're doing the same thing what Don Pressers them has been doing for years. Well, we can't say, all right, that's how he does this thing, but let's do this thing collectively. Let's share. Expound on it. I don't want to put it in a few words.
Okay.
Brother Drummond, tell them what I want.
Okay, I look at this in terms of human rights, or fundamental and inherent, which means God-given rights of self-determination. That man generally does not like someone to force or impose their way on him. You know, here in the West, as African descendants, for example, or it's not just basically the Africans, but even the Asian, China, India, all those cultures where Hispanic had lived under colonial rule. And as you go back in the Bible, you'll see the Roman rule. But the losing side never like anything to be forced upon them. No, we within ourselves, whether we're African or Chinese or Indian or Hispanic, as a cultural group or unit, you will see within the African community that you have people that share different philosophies. And yours may not be the same as mine. But because our philosophy may not be the same, the great mistake that we make is to entertain hatred. You do not like no one to impose their way of life, or the colonialists to force you to do this. So why then you as a Baptist would want to force your concept upon the Protestant or upon the Coptic, or why one from one political party would like to force his idea upon another, yet you don't want nobody to force. In the Jamaica here, I see it happen with the Rastafari community and those who don't share that ideology. Although the ideology is different, you can feel a bitterish hatred there. And we have to give the person their fundamental human rights of self-determination, freedom of expression, freedom of thought. Although it might not be the same as yours, even if it's opposite, you are supposed to be able to still hug this person and say, I love you, my brother. I know that you are Baptist and I am a Protestant, but I'm going to hug you tight. I love you. I know that you are Rasta this, but I'm going to show you the love of God. Because all these different little groups, the one fundamental thing that they have in common is that they claim to have a belief to love you one another, love your neighbor as yourself. That basically, if the other person is not on the mental level to see the things that you see and entertain, allow that person's mind to grow. And by chance,
with your teaching too.
Yes.
You know, that doesn't mean if you think a certain way and I think a certain way. We can have dialogue. We can reason. You can show me the reason why you think that way, because that's how we grow and we become better individuals. Your way might not be the right way, or my way might not be the right, but when we collaborate, or the evidence that we have, the information that you gather, the one that I gather, we can share it together and say, boy, you know something, Brother Drummond, look on the part I saw. You will say Ray, but look at so. This now say that, or that now say that, and you say, you know, that's true, we never did look on it from that point. And so we can grow.
It's really mankind in general faces this fundamental problem, because we all are at different levels of intellect, meaning that we make our judgment based upon the data that we have gathered in life. For example, you as a college person might say to a little child that this plus this minus that equal that. And the child cannot conceive, or it doesn't make sense to the kindergarten child. But in time, as his intellect develops to the level where you are at today, he will understand it without flaw, embrace it, hug it, kiss it, everything. However, I must say by that time, you may have transpired upon the ladder of knowledge. And so, when you find people on different levels of knowledge or intellect, their perception of things is based upon the data that is in their head. So, when you explain a philosophy or an idea or a religion to another person, is you explain based upon the data or knowledge that you have acquired. So if they haven't acquired or had the same exposure, you don't overnight expect them to think in conformity.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here somewhere in Kingston, and I'm here having a wonderful one-on-one chat with my brother Drummond. He is the auditor for the Chapter 43 of the Ethiopian World Federation.
The charter,
is it?
Charter.
The charter, right? Of Charter 43 of the Ethiopian World Federation. Now, we struck a number of things to what has been happening to our children, boogery, all kind of rape, incest, human trafficking. We speak on a number of issues. But this morning, while speaking to this brother, he had this green book, and I start thinking, well, wait, Labour right at PNP, where am I coming with now? You know what I mean? Cause, you know, some people talk, you know, we have to humor that thing, I know, because we're faced with it, you know. And this is the Ethiopian World Federation Constitution and Laws. Now, Brother Drummond tell me with him when I'm out set, when him first pick up that book here and start to read, him backward from it, he must say, wait, what did that book here? Explain to them what really hit you when you read the Constitution. And I have a copy of this book, and it's a very interesting book. It's this was established August 25th, 1937, and August 25th is what, the birthday of the Ethiopian World Federation?
Yes.
Okay, actually the birthday. So explain to me what really happened to you when the book was started.
When I first got a copy of this here, you know, reading through it, for example, in the preamble, say, we, the black peoples of the world, in order to effect unity, solidarity, liberty, freedom, and self-determination, to secure justice and maintain the integrity of Ethiopia, which is our divine heritage, do hereby establish and ordain this Constitution for the Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated. You know, when I first saw this, I was surprised, that a document like this, existed. And as I went on, when it made mention of the name and object, it said the name of this organization shall be the Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated. The aim and objects of the Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated shall be to promote love and goodwill among Ethiopians at home and abroad, and thereby to maintain the integrity and sovereignty of Ethiopia, to disseminate the ancient Ethiopian culture among its members, to correct abuses. This really, struck me, because I've seen people been abused, all my life, and sometimes myself. So everyone would like to hear about to correct abuses, and I was happy to see that there's a document or people concerned about that, and also to relieve oppression and carve for ourselves and our posterity a destiny comparable with our idea of perfect manhood and God's purpose in creating us, that we may not only save ourselves from annihilation, but carve for ourselves a place in the sun. In this endeavor, we determine to seek peace and pursue it, for it is the will of God for man. Now, these are great and noble aspirations. So when hearing this, I wanted to identify with things, noble things like this, and was proud to see that from the African continent, what people would, some people would try to demonize or ridicule in terms of civil advancement, that such things, substance, has been from the ages coming out of Africa also. So as I further went on, I went through it, and I saw that it entails international headquarters. For example, here it has provisions for the international president, the international vice president, and there's a second international vice president, executive secretary. It goes on to list the office of treasurer, international organizer, and with all these different offices, they are tasked, but these things are strategic. With these offices listed, it shows strategic coordination.
Very good
where
point.
We're going to benefit from.
All right, I want you to hold a point there. This man who was talking about the whole concept of the Ethiopian World Federation, the model city going back to Shashemane, and you mentioned something about we need 25 people to make up a
yes, just to establish a local, to get a charter.
But you're telling me that you're having problem trying to find these 25 people. Enough people me here talk about repatriation or reparation, right? Enough people, enough Rastaman me I say Ray. So how come you have problem to find 25 people to make up that?
Okay, I tell you the basic and fundamental problem.
Because we have to fix it in a brother.
We hear that many of us, when we kneel down or we pray to God for better opportunities. We pray to God for independence. We don't want nobody bossing us, ruling over us. We pray to God for food on our table, clothes, and the basic things that's needed for our children so we can live comfortable, to have a certain amount of revenues. And here, when this plea was brought to the Emperor of Ethiopia, and in gratitude for the assistance and the support that we showed to Ethiopia, we were granted 500 acres of land. Anyone from the continent, no matter what part of the earth you are, and you cry out for better economic opportunities, the emperor say, okay, here's 500 acres of land. So first and fundamentally, we can look at it from perspective. What is the economic value of 500 acres of land?
Enough money that bad.
If-
I want heap of money that.
If we ask a real estate broker in terms of millions of dollars, how much that is, then we can begin to see that with 500 acres and each individual is allowed at least 2 acres. What kind of a wealth?
Hold on, talk again. Come on and make sure somebody hear that same thing away I say. Yo, Jamaican, you want to go on? Him say, every Jamaican, once you want to go back to Ethiopia, is entitled to 2 acres of land. The squatting thing where we are going with, we don't have to squat because how can him take me from a place where we did get comfortable, where civilization started, and brought us here on this land, and we take a piece of this land based on the amount of cruelty that was done to our ancestors, right? The Paul Bogle, the William Garden, the Taki, the Sam Sharp, because all them man they fight for the struggles of our people. And we take a little piece of square, because we know we don't take no acre, no man we are squat on no acre. Him take a little place where mouse can build up and put up his own little fence, and him little walkway for going, and him want to live comfortable with him and him family. And you tell him say him a squat. But you don't need to do that. You have 2 acre land, there's Shashemane, I wait for you.
Yes, so this opportunity is not only offered to the people in Jamaica, but Trinidad,
Through the Caribbean,
Barbados, the United States,
Africans are women abroad.
any part of the world.
Yes, yes.
So the agreement is that when the initial 500 acres is exhausted, an additional 500 acres.
Well, tap. More brought this on, you know, Brother Drummond speak some English, boy, where me hope Jamaica, and a straight English him talk still, but more broke it down. What I must say is that if the 500 acres done, what His Imperial Majesty give us, a Shashemane, him done set into place another 500 acres, and when that exhausted, because when him say exhausted, I know someone don't understand. I mean exhaustion, it come from the word exhaustion, exhausted, I mean tired out, done, flack out. When they done and put down, a new 500, so we can't run out of land in Africa. The whole 3 million Jamaican can fit in a Shashemane. Talk to them now, tell them again.
And speaking of this subject of fitting in, it has been said by the Ethiopian authorities that entire Caribbean could be easily be absorbed into Ethiopia.
No, what are they? We can't, boy, we can't. What he must say to me? He must say to me, say, there's so much land there in Africa right now that the whole of the Caribbean, from Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, St. Kitts, at the Virgin Island, Cayman, everybody can just bungle up themselves and say, yeah, we are go home. A room there to fit everybody.
Yes, so Ethiopia again, as we speak of this opportunity in Ethiopia, it's like the needle's eye, because these opportunities are also offered elsewhere. It's been offered in Nigeria, Ghana,
Wow.
Sierra Leone,
Wow.
and so forth. In 1960, there was a mission that visited all these countries, and when they visited, all of these governments agreed that land. So these things was documented by the government of Jamaica. However, the people who represented the government of Jamaica who went on this mission and got the positive feedback from all these countries, they said to these countries that they do not want to lay the financial responsibilities on them, and they do not believe that their government in Jamaica is in the position to deal with the situation financially.
Boy, may I tell you, can you imagine? Can you imagine what is going on? Can you imagine what is going on in Jamaica?
So,
whole ton load of land there for you to take up. But the timing that we have is kind of short. You don't know YouTube not allow you know what ton load of time. So we just take this opportunity now to give thanks to the I. Come check I. Right? So we have it on the record. So brother Drummond's come visit Big Stone, and we had a beautiful talk about what is happening with our children in Jamaica. We talk about repatriation, going forward to Africa, and we speak about the model city. So Jamaica, in parting, what do you want to say to your friends them and the rest of Jamaica and your family and so? You have a minute and a half to do that.
Well, many a times the things that we're seeking is right there in our hand. But based upon the information that I have given, it is only because I want to help people, children, adults, regardless of who you are, to show you that these opportunities are available. You know, we all seek a place in the kingdom of God, and also here on earth, our little resting place. That the places I tell you about is where you're supposed to live on a certain condition, that you have that peace of mind while you commune with the Almighty Creator.
Very positive word. Ladies and gentlemen, it was been a wonderful 20 something minutes. I know it's about to. Talking to Brother Drummond. He's the auditor of the Ethiopian World Federation, a friend of mine. He calls me all the time. We change correspondence and emails and stuff like that, and we're moving forward. Jamaica, no matter one year now squabbling about you, talk about squatting and this and that, and all the land in Africa. All about people say, come home, brethren. So we're gonna set the proper channel. My intervention now, because I never know say all them good things are going on. It's been about 4 years I land there. I tell you straight, more of my place Africa. Even if I'm not gonna live there permanently for the rest of my life, but more have my place where I can go visit, spend some time up there for a and come here. Because guess what? It's hard for you to just relocate. You know what I mean? You spoke about that. It does something to the mind, because I'm not telling a lie. But I love Jamaica bad. I'm not telling a lie, brethren. That's why I left from the United States. Come here, sir. For inculcating our youngsters them and do the best that I can do as one person. Because a white man president said this: ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Ta-ta. Rastafarian.